You've got a CTF background. I'd like you to tell us more about it. We've briefly touched upon it at the top of this show, but I think there's way more you can tell us about your CTF background. And I'd like to hear from you what you think the best CTFs to be doing these days in terms of self-development gains are as well.
Sure. Yeah, I started doing CTFs and self-driven war games back in 2001, I think. And there were only 2 CTFs in the world at that point. There was like one that was secretly run by the US government, and they didn't tell anyone it was run by the US government. It was them trying to find hacking talent. And the other one was DEF CON. So yeah, I started doing CTFs back then. And CTFs have gotten to the point where the best CTFs in the world are just like so intense. Like you have to be working with a team all year round, practicing, constantly doing CTFs to just qualify for DEF CON. It's gotten so intense as an academic competition these days that it's crazy. But at the same time that the highest level CTFs have gotten even harder, there have been more CTFs. Now, if you go to CTF Time, I think it's ctftime.org is where you find all of the CTFs, calendar of CTFs. You'll find that there's hundreds of them. And many of them are beginner oriented. And I really like that. And a lot of them are just like, hey, there's no real prizes for this, but we just want you to have a competitive environment where learning is encouraged and you can interact with peers, maybe in a chat room. In fact, I just did one like that this past weekend. On Saturday was a B-Sides NYC, and Include Security wrote some CTF challenges for the CTF at that conference. And it was a little more beginner oriented. There were definitely some challenges there that beginners could get. But then we also had some harder ones, and ours was one of the harder ones. So yeah, I like to see lots of CTFs. And the hard thing though about CTFs is if you've never done them before, it's the chicken and egg scenario. I want to hack, and here's a thing that says hack me, but I don't know where to start. So you have to start with that background knowledge and start learning and reading a bit on your own before you just dive right into a CTF. They definitely have if I will tell you this fact, people who do CTFs, 99% of the time they work out really well for our company. So it's a big green flag in hiring. If I see people that do a lot of CTFs, I'm like, this person would probably fit in well here.
Okay, cool. So if you do CTF, shout about it on your resume.
Absolutely.
So we're basically saying it does make a massive difference. Obviously, the biggest thing is that the fact that people know something's there. So that's a different mindset altogether.
That is true. Although I have done some CTFs where the challenge author screwed up and there was actually nothing there.
Okay, very different. Maybe that's a new niche. Maybe that's
that was an accident. That was an accident. That was just a bad challenge written. But yeah, it is. You're correct. Like it is a very different mindset when is something here versus I know something's here. I have to find it. It's needle in a haystack versus is there a needle in this field? I don't even know. Did someone drop a needle in this field versus I know someone put a needle in this haystack? It's a different mindset of motivation, but the same underlying currents of methodology should still happen in any case. Break down a problem, break down an architecture, compartmentalize what are the problems, or what are the potential problems, and how you could solve each potential problem to take over something. Like these types of mindsets are the same on a general security assessment where you're unsure if anything's there, and a CTF challenge. It's analyze holistically, break down, compartmentalize, solve each challenge, get the solution, get your exploit.